All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. We are back at the JVology show. I'm with my dear friend, Michelle Kopper. How are you, Michelle?
Yay, I'm so happy to be here. I'm great. How are you?
Yes, I am good too. I am. Summer has been really quite nice overall, and enjoying it. But we're also getting a couple of things done here and there, which is helpful. So,
Yeah,
for
we're
those of
busy. Yeah.
you, yeah, that is true. For those of you just joining us, we are back in season 2 of the JVology show, and Michelle and I are here for a chat, and we are going to talk about all things going live, everything from topics to ideas to preparing yourself to having your voice heard. You name it, we are going to do it. But before that, let me give you a little bit of background. If you do, I moved my camera, and now I'm trying to figure out where's the right spot for my camera. Anyway, we'll settle here. If you don't know, JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit, is my company. It is a community of entrepreneurs who are dedicated to growing their businesses, simply doing this through joint ventures. And when you do it well, you have a steady stream of perfectly qualified leads at the front end of your business, and you have a recurring passive income that is also steady and consistent at the back end of your business, all through collaborating with other brilliant entrepreneurs to solve the problems of your clients better. And we do that in a bunch of different ways. This show is one of the ways in which we feature great people like Michelle to other community members and the world. We do it through our live event called JVology Live, where you get to meet 150 other fabulous entrepreneurs all looking for joint venture partners and learning how to do it in the most powerful and positive manner. We do consulting programs like Flow, Sale, the Business Builder Basics, you name it, we do it. And what we really love is that we have built a community of entrepreneurs who get what joint ventures are around our value system, which is we believe a joint venture is a game of I'll go first. We believe that we are better together. And we believe that if we can come together to serve and support one another, we can do better for our clients. So that's what we're up to. If you want more information about any of those things, I'll put a link in the little chat for JVology Live and a couple of other things that you can find out about. Now, in a moment, I am going to, I got to back up. I forgot. If you want to communicate and to ask questions of me or Michelle or any of those sorts of things while this is going on, click on the video or click on the little name JFZ above the video, and it'll take you to the broadcast page, and we can actually chat back and forth, which would be awesome. 100%. And then the other thing that I wanted to let you know is I'm now going to play our little intro video. And then when we come back, Michelle's going to fill us in about who she is, what she does, and how she serves amazing entrepreneurs like you. So here we go. There we go. And on that note,
I haven't seen the new one. The second one is new to me. I love it.
Me too. They just keep putting stuff in. They just keep putting stuff in my things. Like, hey, I'm going to try that one. I like
so
it.
Awesome.
So, Michelle, please give the folks the 5,000-foot overview of who you are, who you serve, what you do. I always have fun when you are here, so let them know who you are.
Hi, it's so good to be here. I always have fun when I'm here as well. And everything you said about the community and the resources that you're providing is 100% my experience. And I love to come play with you. I'm Michelle Kopper, a voice, video, and visibility expert. Some call me the transformational message mentor. And I am here to help you. If you have a big message, you are purpose-led, you are an expert and entrepreneur, get visible. Build your persona, personality, confidence, message, client enrollment by being visible through your visibility online, on stage, and on camera. And that's what I love to do.
Well, let's be clear, actually. Let's be clear with me back on the camera if I can find the right button. This idea of visibility, more video, more recordings, more formats, StreamYard, Facebook, like all of those
platforms.
Things.
Mm-hmm.
This is becoming more and more significant and important.
For sure.
You want to hear
Something funny is happening? Yeah.
So my wife and I share an office.
Hi,
And
Corey.
I very quickly took one quick bite because I'm still starving because we're trying to lose weight.
I should have talked longer.
And she looked at me while I'm talking and took my plate away.
Corey has got your back. I love it. I love it. That's funny. I had a few bites myself. It's lunchtime over here. So,
so talk to me a little bit, because you have a really fascinating background. So how did you land in this arena? Because there's a bunch of folks, and I'm going to be, this is going to sound like, being a judgmental ass is probably because I'm being a bit of a judgmental ass.
I never do that.
But there's folks out there. It's like, hey, I did an Instagram video and I danced once on TikTok. I'm now an expert. Let me tell you how you can have some presence. So why don't you tell, because you have a pretty amazing background. Why don't you tell folks how you got to this spot doing this work?
Yeah. I would love to do that. So I felt called, this big, giant, big, fat, juicy calling when I was a tiny kid. I really wanted to sing with the angels in the Christmas play at church. And there I was with my tinsel halo and my white sheet, and I was about to sing with the heavenly host. And it was why I existed, and I knew it. And the lights came up and I was filled with terror, and I ran to sit on my grandma's lap.
Wow.
And so, of course, I became a professional performer, and I met that demon, that inexplicable thing, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, because the calling part didn't go away. It got stronger, just like my fear and my vulnerability got stronger. So I have literally put myself through the ringer of voice, visibility, being seen, being heard, honoring that thing you're called to do, stepping up to the plate and sharing it with wholehearted enthusiasm, permission to exist, worthy because we exist, transformation from complete terror in many different ways. I ultimately stopped singing altogether because my body would betray me. My voice would close up. I would cry. Not a really compelling rock star performance. But I did transform that and went on to have my own rock band and had some success as a commercial TV actress. And I did have some success. That fear and that holding myself back went all the way through my performance career. But I discovered this curiosity and this really the calling that I was called to fulfill was in seeing other people transform and express and all of a sudden do things that they couldn't imagine they would have ever done. And so I became a facilitator, really teaching as I was transforming, and that accelerated my transformation for about 25 years in a performance studio where I worked with people around public speaking, worked with some really great dancers and actors who were really charged around singing for like Broadway auditions and things like that. So I did that in a kind of a nuts and bolts, small studio, intimate way for decades, and was really called. I was still playing small. That became comfortable. That became my zone, and I could drop in and channel all this brilliance there for this handful of people. And I realized I needed to expand again. So about 7 years ago now, I was guided to online coaching and had my mind blown and was able to see that I was holding back and kind of playing in my safe, comfortable, intimate group zone. And I wanted to reach and serve more people. So yet again, that calling brought me forward to expand. And very quickly, people were like, "You did TV commercials?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "You got to do video." This is when they were just calling it the golden age of video, and there wasn't live streaming. And I was like, I can't do that. I don't know what to say. I don't have hair and wardrobe, and I don't have a director and a copywriter, and it's not going to look good enough.
My whole hair and wardrobe team worked very hard to get me to this spot today, just so you know.
Yeah, I can tell. Mine too. And so I started bringing that transformational experience to other entrepreneurs, people who felt called to become more visible and jump in and be visible online, from posting to being on lives.
Awesome. Okay, so that's a hell of a background to this.
Told ya.
You've been there. So we can summarize in saying, been there, done that, Broadway, TV, all of those sorts of things, long before, hey, let's do a Facebook Live became a popular thing. Or a bunch of people who I was going to say can't dance. That, by the way, that remark resembles me, or perhaps more appropriately, shouldn't dance.
I don't
TikTok
believe it,
accounts.
Jay. I just don't believe there's anyone who shouldn't dance.
Well, shall I prove it to you? My one dance move, the chicken dance.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
That's the one. Anyway.
Circa 1980.
Probably lower. Okay, so people watching, I think lots of people feel the pressure of I should be on video. I should be utilizing, LinkedIn now can stream and all of these pieces. So what is the struggle generally? Like, I mean, I know you, and let me just share my perception that be beneath this question. I kind of get if you're auditioning for a commercial or you're belting it out for a Broadway play, that I can get that performance anxiety and those sorts of things. Right. Like that mm-hmm. Like I'm going to sort of the result of this will depend upon my eating plan, right? Like, I mean, I'm making my living on this. Like this is a big deal, but it doesn't quite seem the same to me. Hey, I'm John the coach, and I coach on this topic, and it seems pretty simple and easy. And you press a single button, and you talk about that. Like, why are people as challenged by it as some are? And by the way, if you're sitting at home and you know what that challenge is, I'd love for you to type it in and let us know what's true for you, because I'm sure it's got lots of different pieces.
And you're among the many, right? Yeah. You're among the many. There's a couple of different things that happen. One of them is when you're doing an audition or something like that, you're being someone else. You're saying someone else's words. You're not. I mean, my first national network commercial was for the United States Army. It was not something I was highly aligned with, believe me. But I made $30,000 in the first year, and I lived on that commercial. So decades ago. But it wasn't me. I wasn't self-promoting. And the idea that we're promoting self or having to stand and be the voice and the face of our brand, and especially if you're in the coaching space, you feel like people are buying you. You feel like that's that differentiation between being the voice and the face of your message or your business or the impact that you can create versus like they're going to judge me and I'm not good enough and I'm going to be salesy and I'm going to look stupid or I'm not good enough. There's a lot of different nuances to what's going there, but really when it comes down to it translates into everything in your business, because it's often the same around making offers or inviting people or making money or charging or all of these other things that we have to do. That's why I love this whole, for me, I see people who get confident talking about what they do, live streaming or on stage. It transforms their sales conversations. It transforms their willingness to make the invitation to the sales conversation, right? It becomes the next natural step in the conversation. So it's in part, I don't know what to say about me, and I don't want to self-promote or be salesy. And the other thing is that the camera magnifies everything and it feels like a permanent record. And we also, right? It's like, especially live.
All of the proof of my dumbassery.
Your dumbassery, you're flubbing the words, your unprofessionalism, your rambling, you're going to count your ums and your ahs, right? All of that stuff that just gets us stuck. It gets us stuck. And there is that deer in the headlights moment. That's why we have the phrase. And there's that feeling, the phrase, I will die of embarrassment, because it really does feel like I'll die. And then we judge it, right? I'm so embarrassed. It's not going to be good enough. And what's wrong with me? I'm such a piece of crap. I'm never going to succeed. To cut to the chase. It boils down to fear of what other people think of us and self-judgment.
Got it. All right. So we're talking about big, huge issues of humanity.
I
know you've been helping people. So what are, what, and I don't want to, I know you got a whole program and consulting program and all those sorts of things, but in essence, what's the pathway from I'll die of embarrassment to, I look forward to sharing what I have to say, because I know that there are people out there who want and need to hear it from me.
Well, you just hit on my favorite reframe so at first, when the charge is really huge, I had a lot of tools of permission. I created a whole toolkit of tools to give myself permission to just get out of my own way and allow myself to do the thing. And you just hit on the one that I think is the best place to start, which is when you realize that your marketing and your messaging and your lives and your visibility are in service to, and they are an extension of the work you do. They are part of it. They are the beginning of the pathway toward working with you. They're not something separate from the work that you're doing so that you can go out and get some clients, right? So that you're doing it even on behalf of you're going to do it even though you're afraid, even though it's messy, even though I always share one of my first Facebook lives when the platform was new, I was upside down. And every time Facebook shows me the memory, I'm going to share that memory, right? Nobody died, right? Like I was like, I think we're upside down, right?
I did those, by the way, on the phone, right? You start the phone one way and you turn it.
You turned it.
And then it's like,
wait, I don't think. Yeah. And I honestly, 30 years ago, when I was in my own transformation around being seen and heard, I wouldn't have even been able to go anywhere near Facebook Live. So doing it on behalf of, right? Doing it, if even one person can be served, are you willing to maybe flub the words, maybe look a little stiff and awkward? If you're willing to begin, then you got it. You're good. There's I can talk about some ways to accelerate your own process, which is what we do in my course. But you have to have permission to begin. And the best, most successful tool for me, even for growing my business and making lots of money and doing all those things, which felt like, is that okay? Right? Was if even one person can be served, and it will allow me to transform others. The silver lining, the exciting place to get to on the other side of that is, I'm going to do this because I want to. I'm going to do this because I'm feeling the calling, and I'm out of the way and I can let it pour through me. And I know that the energy is going to resonate and connect with the right people because I'm allowing me to show up in it. Right?
Well, it's interesting. And I'm just saying hello to Kathleen. Hello, Kathleen from Seattle. Good to see you here. I was going to just add to this that you said something that I think is incredibly important, and that there is I'm going to say damn near fatal flaw that somehow gets permeated. So I'm going to tell a brief little story. So my little guy, Jackson, who just turned 11, has never liked heights, speed, spinny rides, fast cars. Like that stuff is just like, no. Feet flat on the ground, smooth and slow. Even my bike needs to have more than 2 brakes. Okay, this is my dear boy Jackson. But Jackson is courageous as hell. He will try any and all of it just to see. We're on holidays, and my oldest, by the way, he's like, if he could spend his entire day spinning at 300 mile an hour on a carnival ride, that'd be awesome, and he'd still be play honest, like just doesn't anyway. So they couldn't be more different. But we go ziplining. So Corey lines up the tall or the highest drop zip line in Canada or some damn thing like this. And poor Jaxie, he's it's like he's willing, but you can tell it's like he hasn't taken a breath in 9 minutes. Anyway, so
once you're zipping, you're going.
Exactly. So anyway, we're there just before it starts, and I'm trying to have this conversation with him. It's like, it's okay to be scared. Mm-hmm. The question is, what are we going to do with the fear 100%. So that we can still have the experience? And my oldest is like, no, it's not okay to be scared. There's nothing to be scared of here. There's nothing. It's like
minimizing.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, wait a second. You're the same kid that didn't jump off the bungee jump when you said you wanted to because you were scared. So this is no different. And the truth is, it's okay to be scared and do the action. And in fact, if we can't tell the truth about being scared, doing the action is impossible. But what I'm going to call the fatal flaw that I see over and over again is that people are waiting to not be afraid. Yeah. And it's like, that's not how it goes. It's like we've got to develop the muscle to act when we're scared, and it's called courage. And Jaxie did it, and then we had to buy more because he wanted to do it more. I was like, that's a great demonstration of courage. Still a little bit antsy, but willing. Anyway, it just struck me so clearly.
Important. Yeah, it's so important. And courage comes from the word core, heart, right? So taking heart, and it's a practice. I talk about visibility for me as a spiritual practice because I'm doing it because I have this thing that's coming through and I'm committed to allowing it and helping and serving. And that allowed me enough breathing room to say, I want to share this message. I want to have a kick-ass business. I want to help millions of people. I want to talk to smart people and hang with people who are dedicated to being in that courageous, transformational space, because guess what? It doesn't ever go away. There's always another thing to be brave about, right? I know being a joint venture partner, doing big launches, I'm riding the lovely raw and ragged edge of expansion every time I do that, right? So it is a practice. It is a value. It is a way of being and choosing to be. And it's not optional, right? If you're not going to be stepping into the thing that's just past the edges of your comfort zone where the magic is, then you are in, just by definition, holding back a little bit to play it a little bit safer because it doesn't feel okay. And that's fine. That's totally fine.
For a while until it.
Yeah, but if you're feeling like the edges of expansion and you have something that you want to get through, being able to go live, being able to be highly visible, being able to get out of your own way. And there are ways. Let's talk about some of the, we talked about that first step. Hi, Jenny.
You're speaking to me.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. I had, like I said, I had a studio and I worked with hundreds of people, performers, entrepreneurs, experts, all kinds of different people. And I started to hear this thing that I had never said out loud. And it was, I feel like I will be killed. I'll feel like, not only I will feel like I will die. And so some of us, I think, especially if we're called in the woo-woo world, if we're doing something that's alternative or different, but I think a lot of us, it really does feel fatal. It feels like potentially lethal. And as you so eloquently said, not acknowledging that fear and either like, I just need to get over it and do it. Like you told me to just do it, I'm going to just do it. If you don't have a way or to soften around that and own it and feel it and transmute it, change it through the action and the implementation. Visibility is a spiritual practice for me and for my clients. It's something that we do. It's a way of being, and it happens. The transformation, the confidence, the clarity come through the implementation.
Well, I want to just there's some noise here. I want to just address something that I think is so important of the, if people are in denial to the feeling or to the experience. I believe one of the most important things under the sun, by the way, Corey gave me my carrot back in case you're wondering.
You may have one carrot.
I will not have the rest of it until we're done, I promise. Because if I do, my wife will tune me in.
Just spew a few carrot crumbs our way.
Yes. But here's the thing, is that if we can't tell the truth about it and we push through, I think, and I believe that you teach a bunch of these elements in terms of our previous discussions, this idea of authenticity, of presence, of embodiment, all those pieces. We can't lie to ourselves and then be embodied, present, and aligned for our audience. That those two things are not possible. So you either tell the truth about, I'm a bit petrified here, and I'm going to do my job. And there we go. We've laid the foundation for that authenticity with our participants and our clients and our tribe and our community and all of those pieces. But they have to go together, and which is where, I'm just a fan of your work, because I know not everybody has that same belief.
It's actually key, especially nowadays with all the virtual visual noise. It's one of the things that also helps your conversion. So if you feel like it's not working or you're not getting the results, there may be some tools, tactics, and strategies and messaging stuff that would help you to do that. But if you're also sitting on top of this, needing to prove yourself, trying to be somebody that you're not, or, kind of on top of this other, like, really, am I going to share my voice and be who I am and stand in my power for the amazing person that I am and charge people for it, right? If you're sitting on top of it, there's something called kinetic energy, right? And your presence has kinetic energy through a video or live. And when we're sitting on top of it, it's like having a screen or a veil in between your audience, actually feeling you, breathing into you, being with you. We're holding back. It puts a lid on what we're able to express and what we're able to communicate, because we're in our head trying to make it good enough and do what they think and what they need to be, and say what we're supposed to say and do it right. be more than we are. When we're brave and we do it a little bit messy, we're so much more accessible. People go, oh, I could do it too. Wow, she did it. Wow, I could do it too. So it is really a part of the secret sauce to stand out, because when you're you, then, and especially, yes, there are tools, tactics, strategies to hone your message and learning how to talk about what you do in a way that people can come toward you and understand it, and step by step to lead them to that natural invitation. That is something you can learn. But a lot of times we try and skip to that part, and we're sitting on top of this volcano of energy, holding back, trying to keep the lid on it, or push it down, and it kind of comes out sideways, and it starts to undermine our confidence in big ways. Confidence, formula, courage, plus action times repetition. That's where your confidence and your clarity happen.
Repetition is key.
Do it again.
I'm a huge fan of that.
And that's, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. So what do we practice, right? What do we practice? There's practice structuring your content, practice the messaging, but it's not a show until you have an audience. And so really building the muscle of going live, putting yourself out there, having the enrollment conversations, making the social media posts, being visible is when you're going to get real transformation for you, real shifts in your confidence. And some of us need a container to do that before we put it out in the world, but it has to be a real experience, right? There's some value in, like, I'll practice going live on my phone to myself. That's good. If you're really charged up, do that. But in order to have it really working and engaging and attracting and enrolling, you want to be putting it out there. And people will love your beginnings. If you think about the babies learning to walk, they fall down. We think they're so cute and we just love them. We do not spank the baby. We do not berate the baby. You stupid little baby, get up, right? We welcome them. So you want to have a community, mentors, guides who give you that, okay, I can do it, who help you see what went right, who help you understand what you could do differently next time, and keep clearing that tendency that most of us have to, like, beat ourselves up or feel like shame or it's not good enough, and really move through it.
Got it. All right. So you have a tool that will help people do exactly that, yes?
This tool that we're going to share is because so many people say, I need to go live, I want to do videos, but I just don't know what to go live about. I don't know what to talk about. So right away, this is 50 things to talk about. There's some pointers and some tips as well about how to get started and how to use these. But if you took each of these prompts, made them your own, and did one live a week, you'd have a year's worth of repurposable content.
Oh, I love that. I hadn't sort of connected those two dots, but that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. It's very powerful. Me too.
I'm sorry. I just had me and my batshit crazy brain. I just had a crazy thought. It's like, is topic number 1, are you vaccinated? No.
Mask or no mask?
Sorry.
I hear you.
Can you give us some samples to just give us an idea of the kinds of things that are in there that can help people just get quick, easy traction? For sure. Some of these are prompts to get you going, right? One sharing, one favorite quote of mine is this because, and there's a whole section on seasonal suggestions to, like, how can you use Father's Day and Mother's Day and holidays and different prompts to go. So I'm looking at this page and I'm like, oh yeah, Ming. Yeah, so I don't have them all right in the top of my head, but there's over 30, I think, that are specifically ways for you to take your personal experience, your personal story, and make it into an interesting live that's going to bring value to your audience. There's some pointers in there as well around how to bring, talk about you, but to the benefit of your audience, because it's not really all about you. And a lot of different ways to learn. What I love for people to be able to do is to learn how to take a moment in your day
and turn it into value add content for your audience. Because if you can do that and quickly hop in and say, hey, do you know you want to be going live, but you're not? I was just talking with my friend Jay, and we were sharing this really cool tool that I created called 50 Topics to Go Live. And so I thought I'd jump in here and say, if you're not going live, but you want to because you just don't know what to talk about, check out this tool. Let me know in the comments if you want it, and I'll send it right over.
Yeah.
Boom. Right?
Simple, clean, easy, and consistent.
Yeah, consistency is huge. It's one of the things I think, besides figuring out what to say and then the messaging craft of learning how to talk about it in a way that people will come toward you. Consistency, top 3. Challenging.
On that note of consistency, because I'm old, not everybody here may know this.
I'm older.
But goodness gracious, that's got to be, let's call it 15 years ago, 16 years ago. There was a crazy little web show called the Internet Wine Library. And I remember seeing it, watching it, and it's like, why on earth is he doing this? Nobody's watching. Nobody gives a shit about your dumb little wine thing. If I wanted to go to wine, it's on the, I go to my wine store. Like it didn't make sense to me, but he produced literally day in, day out for years with what appeared to be nobody watching. And that, by the way, if you don't already know who I'm talking about, is Gary Vaynerchuk. And that became Vaynerchuk Media and a multitude of other companies and organizations.
Amazing.
And I just so respect his consistency at a time where he was just clearly ahead of his time.
Yeah. Consistency can't be overstated because the algorithms favor it, right? You can, especially going live, the algorithm favors live streaming. It rewards video content and it rewards consistency. And when you're consistent, you're just going to get more organic reach than not. It also is the only way to build the muscle. I have worked with people who are like, okay, I'm going to go live. And I did 40 lives in 40 days and then nothing for 3 years, right? Or ever again, because it's like, I did that, it didn't work, right? We want to have a consistency. We want to have some structure and some strategy, and we want to keep up leveling and leading to the offers, leading to the invitations, having it lead people down the path, just like any nurturing sequence. Right? If we're building an email nurturing sequence. And then once you've done, as you develop that and you're building your nurturing sequence, you can do those 1 live a week for 50 or 52 weeks, have that bucket of beautifully crafted content, and then you can just do it again the next year. And then you can do it again. And every time you're going to up level it, you're going to tweak and hone your offers, but it's all, that first thing is there, and then consistency becomes streamlined. It becomes easy. And all you're doing then is like making it a little bit relevant, having even more fun, bringing the new you, who you are that year, because all the stuff you've experienced and learned to it, and speaking to the relevance of the times. And it's very powerful. It's very powerful.
So gang, I want to be clear, if you haven't already, because I didn't say this out loud. So the link to get Michelle's gift, the 50 things to talk about, is just over in the chat. If you're over on YouTube, it's in the YouTube chat. If you're over on Facebook, it's over in the Facebook chat. And it's something that you really, really must tackle and, how do I put this? Integrate into your model to be seen. And let's be clear about this. As the topsy-turvy interesting things in the world continue to go, there's more and more people entering this marketplace. There's more and more people clamoring to be seen and heard. And if you want to grow your business, make a contribution, be seen and heard, Michelle is your person. Like this gift is awesome, but you've got other things going on as well. Do you want to just take a moment or two just to give people a step of what else is happening in your world? Yeah.
It is, I want to just, the video thing is important. It's essential. Being able to show up on camera, integrating that video is really not optional if you really want to reach and serve as many people as possible. The transformation that happens as you get confident on video, find your voice, find your energetic presence, ripples into everything that you do in your business. And what we have coming up, you'll get an invitation when you download the 50 topic freebie. You're going to get an invitation to a masterclass that we're doing next week. So if you're like, what do I do to go live and get clients? And we're going to talk about some of the pitfalls that slow us down or get us stuck. And I'm going to share a lot of different specific resources to help you really go live. Understand how do you go live to get clients. I'm going to share my 5 steps to the 5 steps of my course, which is the Fearless Facebook Live formula, which we also have coming up soon as well. So
awesome.
Yeah. I'd love to have you come play.
That would be great. All right. So on that note, my friends, I want to just recap a couple of quick things that you need to know. So number 1, if you're not getting yourself seen and heard in a structured manner because you're not sure what, these 50 topics, Michelle's capacity to serve, support, and connect the dots about how video works at every level of your business, not just the Fearless Facebook formula. It's much broader than that, as is her background and skills. For goodness sake, go and get the freebie. Use the freebie even more.
Implement.
Yes, use the freebie and enjoy that support. It'll make a monumental difference. For those of you who are curious about more about JBology, what we do, what our community is, all those things, in the same chat over there, there's a link to our JBology Live. Our upcoming event is September 21st to 24th. Online, you can attend from anywhere in the world.
And it's off the charts fabulous. It's great people, huge training, total transformation, and practical nuts and bolts. Come play with us there for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. And on that note, I want to wish you a happy summer. I know you got a family holiday coming up. Me and my dear wife have an adult anniversary holiday coming up. And when both of those things are done, we shall reconnect.
Yes, I look forward to it. Thanks, Jay. I love talking with you.
Take care, Michelle. Talk soon. Bye-bye.